you want to be positioned in a company that's not so leveraged. You don't want to have a lot of liability, diba? You want to strike that perfect balance between debt and equity, diba? Debt is not bad for as long as it doesn't eat up your whole balance sheet.
PEPB.
PB,
1 million earning 100%, 10 million earning 10%.
10 million,
Peso cost, buy and hold.
buy and hold.
Banking stocks, property stock.
Banking,
Long-term, short-term.
long,
Cut loss, hold.
cut loss,
Love or money.
love,
EMA, SMA.
PMA,
PLDT Globe dito.
Globe,
Dito now.
dito.
Dito Converge.
I'm hearing a lot of bad things with Converge, but I'm going for Converge.
Converge. Meralco, avoid this power.
Meralco,
CNPF, Pure Foods.
Pure Foods,
Rounding bottom, cup and handle.
Cup and Handle,
Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio.
Adalio,
Preferred shares, bond.
Bonds,
Jollibee Max Pizza.
Jollibee,
Dividends or growth.
Growth.
LeBron Jordan.
Wait,
Jordan. Okay. Lakers, Miami.
what?
Hey guys, so this is part 2 of our video with Ren Agawa. As you all know, he's a fund manager and he trades larger sums of money than us retailers. But what I want to say and what I want to drill down here, as while we were going through the first video, he said accumulate. He mentioned certain sectors to accumulate from. He said telco stocks, he said the necessities, utilities, and he also said conglomerates. But one of the things that he also mentioned was, he said that banks are good to accumulate because right now they're very, very cheap. So in this video, that's what we're gonna drill in on. I want you guys to hear his insights on why he believes banks are relatively better and what are the parameters on why he is believing that, why that's part of his analysis. And I do hope also that this gives you clarity, this gives you enough information so that, again, I'll say this over and over, the whole goal, the whole heart of why we're making videos like this is so that you do not base your actions just on purely emotion, that you don't base your investing decisions based on what other people told you, what your friends told you, or what you hear in YouTube. But I really do hope that this helps you think, that this pushes you to research more. He's gonna give a lot of fundamental parameters. He's gonna give his opinions also when it comes to the fundamental analysis of the banking sector. I do hope that this causes you to start to research even more and it pushes you to drill it further. My suggestion, by the way, is as he starts talking about the sector, I hope that you're listing all of the banks, then look at all of the parameters, and then what I'll do is I'll rank them 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you deploy capital on what you believe based on your analysis is the most prudent for you based on the information that you have and based on the strategy that you have and based on the principles that you will be using. Because at the end of the day, you will grow, you will increase, you will do better based on the strategies that you have placed, and that's what will build confidence to all of you. So enjoy the rest of the video.
The banks performed really bad this year. I think I mentioned that in the first interview because of the non-performing loans, diba? Of course, may issues sila dyan, diba? And supposedly, this is something that's not really favorable for them. No? Besides the banks beginning at a low base right now, diba? If you're going to invest now, you're going a really cheap price. Check out the price-to-book ratios of the banks. It's a bargain, pare. So besides the reason that you are putting your money in institutions that are really good to begin with, which are, as far as price-to-book ratios are concerned, are really cheap. I remember meron kong video somebody was saying the reason why you should not be buying cheap stocks.
Sabi mo, beware of cheap stocks. Beware of bargain stocks. Kasi,
Yes.
what does that mean? Especially right now na, bilhin nyo na yung market kasi mura siya. Is that what you're trying to say?
Kasi may tendency tayo na parang porke bumagsak o makita mo ang baba-baba ng PE or price to book, automatically, without thinking, bibilin mo na kasi you think it's cheap. But it might be cheap for a reason. And it can stay cheap.
I agree with him, given the situation that he gave, no? But there are names that are cheap, not because they are there's something bad with their company. It's just because of the given environment. Of course, the Arise bill is here already. Hindi pa siya low, bill pa lang siya, di ba? Which is supposed to infuse liquidity. Kanina mo makakuha yung liquidity? It's banks, di ba? Which supposedly should spur the economy, right? And the other one that's nasa pipeline is a fist law. The idea here is that yung mga non-performing loans nitong mga bangko, no, they will be allowed to sell that to investment house, no, parang magiging derivative siya, which should allow banks to lend again.
Can you explain to them what price to book is, and then how do they look at it in a way that pag tinignan nila yan, syempre magre-research sila after this video eh. So they will see, ito yung price to book ng BPI, ito yung Metrobank, ito yung EastWest Bank, ito yung Unionbank. You mentioned kanina that they are cheap already. What's the main thing that they should look for doon na parang as a reference point na, okay, sige, price to book na to, mura. Ito, generally speaking, all of them are down eh. Pero some of them, talagang sobrang laggard. Some have bounced a bit already that they're not at their super low points already. So, from a PB perspective, how would you instruct people na ganito mo dapat siya analyze?
Para siyang price to earnings ratio, pare. These two ratios are work more or less the same, di ba? In a nutshell, whether a stock is cheap or not. When you look at the price to earnings ratio, sinasabi, rule of thumb, 20 pababa, di ba? It has to be 20 pababa for it to be referred to as fairly valued. Price to book ratio is 1 pababa, di ba? Yan ang kwento dyan, di ba? Para fairly valued, value of 1, parang ganun pa. Yung price niya, price per share, at yung book value per share, di ba? Ideally is 1. Parang ganon. Yun ang kwento, di ba? Kaya lang, both indicators, price to earnings ratio, price to book ratio, should not be used as a standalone ratio. You have to compare it with the other ratios of similar industry. For example, if you check a price to book ratio, kunyari ni BDO, kunyari 0.5, and ang price to book ratio ni Metrobank is, let's say, 0.4, di ba? You would say both are cheap, but Metrobank is cheaper. By the way, Conglus also performed bad this year. No? Performed bad. What would be my ultimate consideration to buy the stock? The weight. The weight in the PSEI. Because these are the names that as foreign fund managers go back and they want to be positioned in the Philippines, these are the names that they will buy. And if I am considering buying one name only, or a couple of names, 5 names, I will be highly considering buying the names that are heavily weighted.
For those who will analyze this, they look at the PB, mura siya, and then when they start analyzing the PB, malaki yung position niya malaki yung weight niya sa index. Do they have to take into consideration also yung losses from the loans also, considering that madami, at least naglagay naman na ng provision yung banks for that. Pero siguro my ultimate question is, since there's an expectation that in the economy still won't be good, there might be a lot of people who might not be borrowing, or tingin mo because there's a lot of liquidity, people will borrow and then banks will benefit from it.
There are times that a lesser profitable company will have a price action that's better compared to a more profitable company, di ba? So through the years, we figured out na it's not really profitability. All of these banks, as far as profitability is concerned, is not as rosy as compared to other periods, di ba? So, kung tatanungin mo ko, if I am an investor now talaga, besides the price to earnings, price to book, the weight in the index, I will also be looking their performance in the PSEI for 2020.
To everyone watching this, number 1, valuation, PB, look for something that's reasonably priced or cheap right now. Then number 2, weight sa index. Number 3, gaano kalaki yung binagsak niya. And we talked about this before we started. Yung concept na you look for a company that has a very, very strong balance sheet. And it's been said also that yung banks natin, they have a very, very strong balance sheet and they're very, very conservative. That statement has been used over and over and over. But I just want people to hear your opinion on it so that after this also, pag nag-research sila, tinignan nila yung kung saan man sila nag-check ng mga fundamentals ng companies,
Mhm.
this is what they could look at also to see that, teka, this bank A, has a stronger balance sheet than bank B.
Some would say that you want the leverage ratio of a balance sheet to be not too high, no? Some will say that a company with that is highly leveraged is a bad company. As far as leverage naman is concerned, it's not really bad. When you look at the conglos and the property companies, no, their debt to equity ratio is always high. Somebody would say din naman na I want to invest in a highly liquid company. Highly liquid, puro cash, di ba? Puro convertible to cash, di ba? Ang problema, when you're a highly liquid company, it means that you're not putting your money to something that's not tangible, di ba? Wala kang property, wala kang equipment, so it's not working. It's just so happen that you just have a lot of cash, a lot of liquid items, di ba? It's a mix of liquidity, leverage, and profitability. You want to be positioned in a company that is, as far as liquidity is concerned, is good. Should things go bad, you know that this company meron siyang ibabalik sa tao. You want to be positioned in a company that's not so leveraged. You don't want to have a lot of liability, diba? You want to strike that perfect balance between debt and equity, diba? Debt is not bad for as long as it doesn't eat up your whole balance sheet, and for as long as your debt really works for you. For example, your debt is big because you bought a lot of equipment, which in turn generated a lot of money for you.
Thank you so much, Ren Agawa, CPA, MBA, CSS, CMD, CFM, trades, billions. Tama ba? Okay, pwede ko sabihin yun. Anyway,
That is so not true.
yung fund that you trade, yun na lang. Yun na lang. The fund.
No, that is so not true.
Okay talaga. Millions, multi-millions. Yun na. Okay. So,
I hate you, man.
before we put this to a close, alam mo yung fast talk?
Alright.
Okay, ready. PEPB.
PB.
1 million earning 100%, 10 million earning 10%.
10 million.
Peso cost, buy and hold.
Buy and hold.
Banking stocks, property stock.
Banking.
Long-term, short-term.
Don't.
Cut loss, hold.
Cut loss.
Love or money.
Love.
EMA, SMA.
PMA.
PLDT, Globe, Dito.
Globe.
Dito now.
Dito.
Dito, Converge.
I'm hearing a lot of bad things with Converge, but I'm going for Converge.
Converge. Meralco, Avoid is Power.
Meralco.
CNPF, Pure Foods.
Pure Foods.
Rounding Bottom, Cup and Handle.
Cup and Handle.
Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio.
Adalio.
Preferred shares, bond.
Bonds.
Jollibee, Max Pizza.
Jollibee.
Dividends or growth.
Growth.
LeBron, Jordan.
Wait.
Jordan. Okay. Lakers, Miami.
What? Miami.
Kobe, LeBron.
Kobe, yeah.
So I hope you guys got a lot from this video. I hope that this gave you a firmer understanding on banks. This gave you at least an added layer of analysis when looking into it. And I hope that this added also some items that you could research on. Because again, if you notice it, no, this channel is not about giving you fish. This is never about get rich quick. This is never about sundin mo to para ito na lang bibili mo. We don't do that here. We want to give you principles, strategies that will cause you to study further, research further, that will also cause you to think. Because when you start to think, when you start to research, when you do the work, that's when you get better. And let me know, among what he mentioned, assignment, he talked a lot about TB. Can you tell me, put it in the comment section below, among all of the banks in the PSE, which do you think is the cheapest right now? Challenge to those who can list it, rank it. What is the cheapest bank in terms of PB based on the parameters that Red put? So rank everything 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up against the cheapest. So that's it. I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope that this series with Ren Agawa is something that's helping you. And I just want to know this. I've been doing a lot of interviews over the past 2 weeks already. And is this a format that you find also interesting? So that naisip ko rin na I've done a lot of interviews in the past, but it's then suddenly nawala siya for quite some time. It was just purely me. But I want to know if you like more of this, you like more of the guests, and who are the guests that you like me to bring back more. I've gotten a lot of requests for Wilson Flores, and we're gonna have him back again. But if you guys have other requests, put them in the comment section, and we're gonna try to make videos on top of that. If you have more questions also, slide a DM on my Instagram, Patreon community, YouTube community, and we have other videos also in the description below talking about technical and fundamental analysis. So I guess that's it. I hope that this is something that gave you so much content and so much value. This is Marvin Gerbo, and I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.